What if I told you there are places on Earth where modern civilization barely exists? Places hidden behind oceans, deserts, frozen landscapes, and dense forests, where outsiders are either unable to survive, forbidden to enter, or simply not welcome. From an isolated island where outsiders are forbidden from making contact, to frozen lands where almost nobody can survive. Here are 6 places on Earth where civilization barely exists. Number 1. Bouvet Island. Imagine being hundreds of miles from the nearest human settlement. Bouvet Island is an extremely isolated volcanic island in the South Atlantic Ocean. It's covered largely by glaciers, surrounded by dangerous waters, and has no permanent population. Visiting this place isn't like taking a normal vacation, it's more like visiting another world. Number 2. The Atacama Desert. Welcome to one of the driest places on Earth. The Atacama Desert in Chile receives almost no rainfall in some areas. The landscape can look completely lifeless, rock, sand, mountains, and endless emptiness. There are settlements around the desert, but enormous areas remain almost completely uninhabited. And that's what makes the Atacama so fascinating. Number 3. The Sahara Desert. The Sahara is so enormous that it stretches across much of North Africa. Temperatures can become dangerously hot during the day, while nights can become surprisingly cold. People have lived around and traveled through the Sahara for thousands of years, but huge areas remain extremely difficult to inhabit. For centuries, the desert itself has been one of civilization's greatest barriers. Number 4. Uncontacted indigenous territories. Deep within the Amazon and other remote regions are indigenous peoples who have little or no voluntary contact with modern society. Some communities actively avoid outsiders. Governments and organizations often create protected areas around these groups because outside contact can introduce diseases and threaten their way of life. These aren't people who are simply lost. In many cases, isolation is their choice. Our number 5. Antarctica. Antarctica is the coldest continent on Earth. It has no permanent native human population and is covered by an enormous ice sheet. Scientists and researchers live there temporarily, but there are no normal cities or permanent civilian communities like you find on other continents. Outside the research stations, Antarctica can feel completely untouched. The number 6. North Sentinel Island. And now perhaps the most famous example. North Sentinel Island belongs to India and is home to the Sentinelese, one of the world's most isolated indigenous peoples. They have repeatedly resisted contact with outsiders. The Indian government prohibits unauthorized visitors from approaching the island, partly to protect the Sentinelese from diseases and outside interference. Almost everything about their society remains unknown to the outside world, and perhaps that's exactly how they want it. Outro. From frozen continents to endless deserts, from the deepest parts of the ocean to remote rainforests, Earth still contains places where modern civilization has barely made an impact. And perhaps the most fascinating question isn't where these places are, it's how much of our planet still remains unknown. If you enjoyed this journey into the most isolated places on Earth, subscribe for more fascinating stories about the hidden side of our planet.